And today I want to talk about something else. That you want to live like a warrior and die a legend. What do you mean by that? Well, one of the first qualities of a warrior is courage. You want to live your life from now on with courage. That most people take their talents, abilities, and skills to the grave with them because of lack of courage.
I would be afraid to say, I'm taking over the South Coast, I'm taking over the West Coast. Like, I'm not even really going after what I want. I need you to own it, because if you can own it, when we leave this room, you'll never be the same again. Hands up, I'm not even going after what I want. Raise your hand. Good, beautiful. Hands down. Now, there's another group. You're more serious goal seekers and goal setters and going after what they think they can get. If you're in this room and you're like, yeah, I gotta be honest, I'm serious about setting goals. I am serious. But even in my seriousness, ET, as much as I'm going after it, there's still an area where I know I'm going after what I think I can get. And I need to live in my mindset. Raise your hand if you're in the building. Good. Love it. All right, let's go to the next one, guys. This is gonna blow your mind. This is gonna blow your mind, right? So this is what I need you to do, right? I need you to, but we can keep it. Okay, so let's go here, and we're gonna move forward. This is deep.
And courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is the willingness to do what it is you need to do, what you are called to do, in spite of the fear. You don't want to live a fear-driven life, because you're depriving yourself, your family, and the world that you came here to do something. That's why we're told constantly in the book of life, be of good courage. Because there's stuff that's going to happen that requires that you have courage, that you stand up inside yourself and face it and handle it. Most people in a fearful situation, they forget everything and run. There are few that in a fearful situation, they face everything and rise with courage. And that's who you are. That's why you're listening to me now. Because there's something you want to do. And when you're going outside...
I'll be honest, you said, E.T., don't ever read a book. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying to you is that you don't need anything external to go to the next level. Now, could it help you? Yes. But all you need to go to the next level, you have all of those tools right now, right? The only thing that you have to do, though, that's critical, you're going to have to activate that. Now, that's within you, I'm saying. Everything is already inside of you. I didn't get a PhD and didn't blow up. Listen to what I'm telling you. I didn't get a PhD and didn't become E.T. the hip-hop preacher. I didn't get a master's degree and blew up. People knew who I was in the States. Even when I got my high school GED, I didn't get a high school diploma. And those 12 years it took me to get my first degree, people knew who I was. I was traveling the world speaking. Now I'm on the level I'm on now. I got as far as I did. But I don't want you to think that I had to become Dr. Eric Thomas to release an album. I didn't have to become Dr. Eric Thomas to write a book. The first book was 2011. It's 2015. You know what I'm saying? You don't need anything else to be great, but to believe that you're great. You don't need anything else. You have all the tools. The problem is you've not activated those tools. So yesterday, go for it. See, I just want to show you guys, because I was a little free man. I was a little disappointed yesterday in the game. The West Coast, nothing against the West Coast. I know you're going to take over the West Coast. I'm talking to Eric Mel right now. He's like, well, God, don't you just tell me I could? So I was a little disappointed, guys, because not long ago, this is deep, we're talking about activating. Just not long ago, Fremantle, they were able to defeat West Coast. So if you watch the NFL and you watched the game yesterday, you know that they had the ability to win the game. Right? So if you're a fan, you were sitting there in hope, because you know who they are. You know what they're capable of doing. You know their skill set. You've seen it before. You know they got they mark out of this world. They got I saw them. You know what they can do, guys. You've seen it before. It's their skill. Right? So I'm disappointed because the team that beat the West Coast not long ago, that team did what? That team didn't show up. I'll say it again. That team didn't what? They didn't show up. So that's what's discouraging. Look, it's one thing when your team can't compete. You go in knowing that it's going to be a long one. I know all my mates are going to tease me, you know what I'm saying? Because my team is not good, but you still, but you know when you are a fan, free matter, you know they can beat anybody. So you're looking like, what's going on? I'm telling you, it started ugly. It started real bad. I'm like, what in the world? I'm trying to calculate because I'm from the States. So I'm kind of seeing something. I'm trying to calculate what that's 4 scores. Ooh, that's going to be 5 now. They're down 5, 6. Like, this is going to be a pretty tough comeback. They never came back. Listen to what I'm saying. What hurt me when I was watching the game is that they had the skill set to do it. But whatever happened mentally, emotionally, they're not activated. And I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if they felt like we got home court advantage. Our fans are here. Our family is here. Like, this is our moment. I don't know what happened. But I know by watching the game, listen to me, I didn't even know all of the rules. But when I saw the energy of West Coast, when I saw the activity of West Coast, when I saw the opportunities that they had, they weren't on the one, they were 6. You can see that they wanted it as bad as they wanted to breathe. You can see the energy. You can not just the energy in the first quarter or second quarter, third. You can see the energy all the way to the end. I'm not sure what their coach said. I'm not sure what they said to one another. But when it was showtime, it was clear that they activated their potential. They activated their talent. They activated their skill set. They activated it. They made it happen. And there are those of you in this room, for whatever reason, you have not fully activated who you are. You're skilled. Financially, you could be on another level. In terms of your business, you could be on another level. But for whatever reason, you have not decided to activate it. Now, I gotta ask you a serious question, and I need you to be honest with me. I have a serious question, and I need you to be honest with me. How many of you can say in this room that as it relates to some area of your life, that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that you put forth 120%, that you do not retreat, but every day you go all in as if this is your last opportunity? That's you. You can say Monday through Friday work there, Monday through Sunday I go, I leave it all out here. I just need you to raise your hand for 120. All right, ET, I'm not on 120. I'm on 90. I think I'm about 90. Raise your hand, be honest. I'm 90. Good. Be honest. I'm about 80%. Yeah, I'm not 120. I'm about 80. Yeah, I'm about 80%. Yeah. Be honest. I'm about 70. I'm 70. I'm looking for maybe average. Okay, now just for those of you who are in the room, you just want to be just totally transparent. You know who you are, you know your talent level, and you're like, yeah, I'm probably getting 50% of what I know I can get. Raise your hand. What I saw yesterday, Fremont, they were just, in the fourth quarter, you could see them in the fourth quarter. You could see the energy in the fourth quarter. The passing, you could see that mentally they were making better decisions. You could see it. You could see the energy level was up. You could see the defense, they were playing defense. You could see it. But it was what? It was too late. That same team would have showed up. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know what the score would have been, but if that same team in the fourth quarter would have showed up in the first quarter, we would have had ourselves a game. But for whatever reason, that team didn't show up. That team didn't show up until the fourth quarter. And what I'm asking you to do for me is I'm asking you for the rest of your life. This is your life, it's not mine. I have the privilege of going home and giving 120. This is your life. All I'm asking you to do for me, number one, is to believe it. And number two, I'm asking you to activate your life. So for those of you who told me 50%, listen to me, if you give them 50%, if you just gave another 25%, you'd be at a whole other level. I just told you, free mind, they would have done the fourth quarter, they would have done that first long. The second, it would have been closer. They were coming back. And I need you to make a decision. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going from 50 to 75. For those of you who are 70, I'm going from 70 to 80. For those of you who are 80, I'm going 80 to 90. For those of you who are 90, I'm going 90 to 100. want you to know something. That the bigger your dream is, I want you to understand the harder the grind. There, listen to me. Luck is for leprechauns, and you ain't green. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's right here under the tree. I'm gonna take the jacket off. I'm gonna show you. I have that one on today. Luck is for leprechauns, and you're not green. I'm gonna say it again. Luck is for leprechauns, and you're not green. I'm not bringing you a fairy tale. What I am telling you is that if you're willing to go beast mode, you can have whatever you want. I'm a living example. You can start from nothing. Start from nothing. You know the story. Mom was a teenage mom. Start with nothing. Grandma had 14 kids. Start with nothing. 2-bedroom house, 1 bathroom. Mom got kicked out because she had me. Start with nothing. Start with nothing. High school dropout. Start with nothing. Homeless. 12 years to get a 4-year degree from the university. Start with nothing. If you are willing to grind. Now, I need you to do me a huge favor. You got to understand this. There are 2 ways to be successful. Right? And I don't subscribe to the first one. That's just natural talent. Right? And I just don't believe people who are naturally talented are better than me. I believe effort, and you've heard me say it. Your mama might come from privilege. Your daddy might come from privilege. Your daddy might own a company. You might come from privilege. You might have a father that can give you everything your little heart desires, but you will not outwork me. Why? Because I realize that the bigger the dream, and I need you to see who I have up there. Notice when I said beast mode now, I'm not talking about the lion. When I talk about beast mode now, I'm talking about the ant that's very small, but that can probably lift 100 times his weight. I'm saying that some of you in this room, you might not be a lion yet. Some of you in this room, you might be an ant. You might have small beginnings. You might not have a lot of money. You might not have a lot of resources, but there's no excuse. You said, E.T., I'm not that lion. You might be the ant, and the ant has very little, but he's determined. He's strong. He has a dream and a goal, and he'll do whatever it takes. And I need you to understand that the bigger your dream is, the earlier you're going to have to get up. The longer you're going to have to stay up. The bigger your dream is, the more effort you're going to have to put in. And for those of you who raise your hand and put up 70%, you'll never see it. You'll never see it. For those of you who are 70% beast mode, 30% gazelle. That's just enough for that other person to outdo you. That's just enough for... Listen to me, that's just enough for the other person who wants just what you want. Okay, so let me say it like this, because I want to make sure you get it. All right, listen to me, I told you. I want you to think about those goals. I want you to taste them. I want you to internalize it. I'm not asking you to tell me what your goals are because I'm interested in hearing everybody. I couldn't possibly do anything with it. Listen, this is what I'm telling you. I'm telling you to dream your dream because I want you to feel it. I want you to taste it. I want you to know how close. I want you, just like when the weather is changing, you can feel it. I want you to be able to feel when you're getting closer to it and closer to it. But more importantly, I want you to know when you dream your dream that there are other people who are dreaming the exact same dream. When you said to yourself, when the ball comes down, this is what I want to accomplish. You're not the only person that wants to accomplish it. And now I ask you this question. What do you do when 1,000 other people want exactly what you want? What do you do when you're not the only one that wants to make $1 million in your company? You're not the only one that wants to be the president. You're not the only one that wants to be the CEO. What if you're not the only one that wants what you want? What if there are thousands of other people who want what you want? You have to outwork them. You gotta outgrind them. You gotta get up earlier. You gotta stay up later. You gotta execute, and you gotta go from 70 to 120. No excuses, guys. I wish you could pay me $1,000 today, and I could tell you 70% is enough. I wish you could pay me $1,500. I wish you could pay me $1,500, and I could say to you, 80% is gonna get it. Give me the $1,500. I guarantee you that I magic wand you, and 80% will be equivalent to 100% for you. Poof. But it's not gonna happen. And so I need you to understand something. You can have it if you want it. But the bigger the dream, guys. The bigger the dream, the harder the grind. And can I be honest with you guys? I'm grinding harder now than I've ever grinded before. Somebody said, E.T., somebody called me the other day and said, E.T., I don't know if you've been paying attention, and they were right, I haven't. E.T., we've been going online, and if you go on YouTube and you put the best motivational video of all times, right now, E.T., that's your video. E, how do you feel? E.T., I don't know if you did it, but I did it. The top motivational speakers in the world. And in some categories, E.T., you're there. You're like number 10, you're number 5, E.T. How you feel, E.T.? I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was easier when I wasn't on the list. It was easier because I wasn't focusing on that. It was easier when we didn't have one of the best audio books in the world. It was easier. But now that I see I'm getting close to Jim Rohn, I'm getting close to Tony Robbins. Now that I see it, guys. Oh man, I used to feel comfortable with getting up at 3:30, but now before I was running with my head down, like some of you, I'm running with my head down, but I'm putting work in Monday, I'm putting work in Tuesday, I'm putting work in on Thursday, I'm putting work in on Friday, I'm putting work in on Saturday, I'm putting work in on Sunday, and for years we just been, thank God it's Monday, we've been writing books, guru story, elementaries, middle schools, high schools, colleges, NFL, NBA, AFL, rugby, and years, and then I put my head up and I saw Tony Robbins. I said, oh, there go Tony, y'all, let's run past it. Oh, there go Jim Rohn, y'all. Oh, we close. We close, and we don't even own an island on Fiji, and we close. We're not asking people for $50,000. We have no one yet walking on coal or water. Guys, and he's in distance. Let's go faster now. Let's go hard. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You're probably thinking, E.T., you're doing less now than you did. We're doing more now. Every video, we got a spell check now. We didn't have to spell check this. We can misspell it. Nobody cared. They didn't know who I was. Now every single video is being scrutinized. Now every single thing we're doing, people are talking about. Now every single video we do has to be top notch. We go back to the first one. I didn't even say thank God it's Monday. I said magical Mondays. You're thinking, I want you to get it out of your system. You're thinking I'm gonna work hard for 10 years. Now relax. If that's what you're thinking, this ain't for you. Just for everybody back at home before we get into it so they can really know where we are. If Australia is in the building, make some noise. Excited. Okay, so I'm going to start here. I got a lot of stuff up there, right? I kind of want to just know who I'm dealing with first. And if there's anybody in the room, if you ever dream, if you ever think about, being a millionaire, if you ever think about, being in love, or you ever think about, the six-pack, right? Whatever it is, if you're in the room, and just from time to time, you're not where you want to be. You're on your way there, but you're not there right now. You think about, like, what's next, the next 6 months, the next year, like, the next 5 years. Like, you think about that. And you're going to be able to raise your hand from us. All those people who are just thinking, good. So let me just, on this side, real quick, just give me one person on this side right here. Just tell me what you think about. What, like 6 months, a year from now, 5 years, by just one person. Like, what are some of the things that just consume your thoughts, like you think about all the time? Good. The biggest real estate agent on the South Coast. I like that. I don't even know where the South Coast is, but I like how she said it's the whole South Coast. Like, it seems like that's like a lot of area. Good. I like it. Good. You think about that. The richest from the West. Good. The richest from the West. Good. So there's no competition. South West Coast, right? No competition right now. All right. Good. Anybody on this one? What do you think about? What do you think about? Good. Being on that stage one day. Good. I love it. I love it. Anybody else over here? What do you think about it? Good. Financial freedom for your family. Now, the reason why I ask you this is important because you can't accomplish anything you can't think of. Like, if you can't think it, like, you can't do it. So like, where do we start? And I say that because, like, being in Australia is really, right now, I know it's not that deep to you, you're from Australia, so it's like, when you're not that deep, you kind of took the route you always take to get here, you stay healing before. But for me, I'm like, wow, I'm in Australia. And what's so big about Australia is, I remember saying to myself, one day I'm going to be international. Like, I remember saying, I'm going to be international. I don't know if you know it or not, but from Detroit here, it's real international. It's real international. It's like a 16-hour, flight. Like, there's nothing. For a long time, there's like nothing, right? Water, right? It's a real long flight. But I need you to know that maybe I didn't say Australia, but I did say international. And so there are a lot of places I've been in the last few years. And what makes me different than like everybody that grew up in my neighborhood, and a lot of people that grew up in my neighborhood are not where I am, and I don't even want to talk about where they are, but they're human just like I am. But the difference is they weren't thinking about a lot. Like, they were just thinking about going to work. They were thinking about just surviving. I'm from Detroit, so they're just thinking about surviving. They're just thinking about making enough money maybe to, live. But I remember thinking that what if all my dreams became a reality? And then years later, I woke up and I'm living the dream, right? So I want to start there. I want to show you this slide, this first slide, because this guy helped me a lot. I don't know if anybody ever read the book or the audio book, The Secret. You're familiar with The Secret? Just raise your hand if you're familiar with The Secret. Pretty powerful book. And I want to share with one of the master teachers from the book, Bob Proctor. Right? And I had an opportunity to meet Bob Proctor a few years ago, and Bob Proctor kind of coached me, right? And it was weird. So when I saw Bob Proctor for the first time, I was excited. I was speaking, and he was like right at the table, like right there, right? And I remember looking at him like, okay, I must be real good, so I get a chance to meet him, right? Because a lot of times, in order to get to another level, you got to get with people who are at that level. Right? And I know you've heard that before, but make sure you take that serious. In order to get to the next level, you have to connect with people who are already at that level. But what's difficult is how do I connect with those individuals when I'm not at their level? Right? So that's one thing. So for me, I don't use my speaking just to make money. I really use my speaking as leverage to meet certain people. So I'm on a stage and I can see Bob Proctor, and I'm like, all right, here's my chance. Like, if I do well enough, if I say, really do good, I might get an opportunity to meet this guy. So I'm going in, and you can see he's like, listen, he's shaking his head, but I'm not really sure if it's me that, he's really getting into. So I tell a joke, and he laughs. I'm like, I think he's there. I think I got him. And I tell another joke just to make sure that, and he nods. I'm like, yes, I think I got him. And so afterwards, the guy brought me in, was so excited. Eric, you did a phenomenal job. If there's anything I can do, to help you, let me know in the future. I was like, well, I have something in the press that you can do for me. He said, what? I said, I'd like to meet with Bob Proctor. I'd like to do dinner, or I'd like to do lunch or breakfast or something with Bob Proctor. Right? So he was like, all right, no problem, I'll talk to Bob Proctor. Talk to Bob Proctor, the wrong boy here, 10:30, can you meet me at 10:30? I'm like, I can be at 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, that make a difference. And just tell me what I remember, I got here, and this is a busy guy, and so we started talking, and he's like, how can I help? I'm like, I'm trying to take my career to the next level. And so he said, okay, you're trying to take your career to the next level. And this is weird, guys. This is why you want to get with people who are at the next level, because they think so different. So I'm looking for I'm looking for him to say, join my master program where I'm going to mentor you one-on-one. He didn't say that. The first thing he asked was, how much money are you making? Oh, that's kind of personal. Like, going quick here. Like, we didn't get a chance to really talk about my history. Like, you asked me how much I make. I was like, how much do you charge? And so I was like, I'm proud. I was like, $10,000. Proud. My family come from a working class, so that $10,000, it might take a month or two to make $10,000. So I said $10,000, and you can see like the disappointment on his face, like $10,000. I'm like, now wait a minute, first you asked me how much I make, and then you're embarrassing me. So he said, no, I'm not trying to embarrass you, but he said, he said, this is what you need to do. When you go back home, he gave me a little spiel. He says, you need to charge no less than $20,000 an hour. I was like, okay. Since I went back home, and people, how much you charge? I'm like, Bob Proctor's dead. You know, and if you look Bob Proctor up, like he's like top 5 best speakers in the country. Like I was like right behind Bob Proctor. You know, I didn't know I was behind him at that time, but I'm like right behind, right? So he's like, all right, Eric, 20,000. So, you know, I go home, and guys, this is weird. Please hear what I'm saying. Please. Like, I don't want you to get motivated. I don't want you to get pumped up. Like, I want you to get empowered. When you leave this room, I want you to behave in a way you've never behaved, think in a way you've never thought. Because I'll be honest, the West Coast, that's yours. South Coast, that's yours. Like, I'm being honest. That all you have, like I told you, Bob Proctor told me to say 20. And so I went back home and said 20. And it was amazing. Well, first I had to rearrange my staff because the young lady who worked for me, she had a job and she only made so much an hour. So she couldn't say 20,000. It's weird. Like she couldn't say it. Like she couldn't say 20,000. If she did, she didn't say it like 20,000. She was kind of like 20,000. And was waiting on a reaction. So I had to give it to CJ. And CJ was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know E.T. I've been with him the last few years. I know like the man of integrity is. I know the hours he puts in. Like C said, 20. Matter of fact, I'm going to Malaysia. He charged him 100 with no nothing, no plane ticket. That wasn't plane ticket. That wasn't hotel. That wasn't food. And when C says 100, he said it like you're getting this real discount here. You better hurry because if you know, next year is going to be 150. But if you go with us this year, we'll keep you at what Glenn is saying. So where we start at, no matter how big I blow up, where we start at, I will work with you where we are. So we're charging 100 now. Next year it can be 250. So but the way C is saying it is like, you better get the 100. And they're like, oh, okay, where do we sign? He's like, they got 20 more. It's a different, he believes it. And so when you think about being the number 1 agent, when you think about being a millionaire, when you think about whatever your business is, take it to the level. When you think about your life, when you say it, you just can't say the words. You gotta say it in a way where you really mean it. So CJ said $20,000. They were like, no problem, where do we sign? And so about 6 months later, I run into Bob Proctor again. He said, E.T., how's it going? I said, man, it's going all right. He went, nah, I don't know. He said, what do you mean it's going well? I was like, that 20, I know 20, they got everybody. They give me 20, it's unbelievable. He's like, hold on, what's the problem? You told me 20, I said 20, I got 20, you still disappointed? He said, no, I didn't say 20. I said no less than 20. He said, you know what your problem is? I said, no, sir. Explain it to me. He said, your problem is, even though you're no longer a high school dropout, even though you're no longer homeless, you still don't know who you are. And if you knew how the world saw you, not how you see yourself, but if you knew the world, and he made that clear, like the world, we're not talking about America here, if you knew the world, if you understood, guys, I'm being honest with you, I didn't know that we were like number 5, number 6 in the world in terms of motivational speakers. I didn't know. Somebody introduced me once and said it when they were introducing me. Like, I've never gone on Google and put my name in Google. I don't do the homework. I just wake up every day at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just wake up and grind. Monday I grind. On Tuesday I grind. Wednesday I grind. Like, I don't get up and look at myself. I don't compare myself. And so he said, Eric, the world, you are world renowned. Like, you are helping people all over the world. When you get to a place where you begin to see yourself like the world sees you, it's going to be totally different. And then CJ now is like, I've been waiting for you to see this. I've been waiting for you to see you like I see you. And so now 100 is not a problem for him at all. And here's the crazy part. He's saying 100. And they're saying, okay. And I'm hurt. Because I'm like, I've been robbing myself
Yo, we came out with an album 2 days ago. It's already 15 on the charts. When I talk about all charts, like all music, we're a little bit over 40 in all music. We come in, y'all. Every area we come to, we come beast mode. Every area we come to, we come like a lion. You don't know, music, we weren't even in music. And here we are in music, out of nowhere, we're in music, and we about to hit the top 10? We never even did music, but it's our first time doing music. And we have some of the top producers calling us from radio shows saying, look, we putting a plan together for you guys. It's beast mode in every area. So I want now in every area. I want it now, not just money, not the car you live, not the car you drive, the house you live in. I want now. I want that now, that grind on Monday, grind on Tuesday, grind on Wednesday, grind on Thursday. I want you to have your own water at some point. Have your own water. And whatever area that is, like I don't know what that is for you, but I need you to have listen to me, I changed. Since the last time I've come, guys, I got to upgrade. I'm not the same guy I was last year when I came. I'm telling you, I don't know I'm like, if I come back next year, I might be flying next year when I come. I might just blend it in. Eric, I don't know, I could be flying, like I'm gonna work on it, right? This thing is serious, let's go. Mindset. Okay, before we push play, do me a huge favor. Before we push play, this guy came in the States, the NBA, this young man is the highest paid player in the NBA. This was over 18 years ago when he came in the league, and he got paid over $100 million. So I want to put it in context before we push play. I want to put it in context that this kid is making $100 million. So I don't need you to hear that this kid is broke, this kid doesn't have money. This kid came in the league and he was making over $100 million. The first mindset was every single day we grind. I want you to listen to the second. This is the second mindset.
And I understand it's not hard. You hear it? Which strategy? Play hard, or lose, play hard, lose. I'm losing. This are you taking full responsibility for this? And choice. You know, I see Spurs, I see Shaq with the team. I got Charles a lot. We got a lot of talent on our team. This is the good thing. We in this situation. It's really good. It's good.
Let me paint the picture just in case you might have gotten it, you may not have gotten it. Towards kid making just want to put it in perspective, guys. This kid is making over $100 million. Most people in this room, you will never see that kind of money. And he's crying. I'm gonna say it again because some of us feel like, yo, if I made $100 million, I'd be settled. That's why I told you it's not just in one area. How are you making $100 million and you're crying? Like okay, y'all gotta understand something. Where I come from, there's only a couple things that make you cry. Like you don't just cry, right? And then you don't publicly cry. And if you saw it, he was telling the camera person, like, do me a favor, cut it off. Because I don't want the kids that look up to me. I don't want people who, the city that I play for. I don't want the kids from Chicago, Illinois, where I grew up. I don't want them to see me crying. Cut the camera off. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Give me 1 minute. Just like let me get it together and then we can do it. But just cut the camera off. And he's crying. He's sitting in front of another grown man and he's crying. $100 million. He's playing for a living, like he's not doing like hard labor. He's playing the game, and yet he's crying. Somebody please help me out, because I just want to make sure that you caught it. Can somebody please tell me why is this kid crying? Why is he crying? What is he saying? Like what's the motive behind his tears? His passion isn't money. He said, what? I'm not winning. Good. He's not up to his own standard. So just do me a favor. I'm gonna break this down. I just need you to do me an honest favor. Like, in terms of what you do as a profession. And I don't care what it is. You're a student right now. I don't care what it is. You own your own business. You're an entrepreneur. You're in the real estate. Like, I don't care. I need you to do me a huge favor because you got to do this before we get going. I need you to be honest and say, so in the NBA, it's a championship. Right? And the more championships you have, it really shows that, you know, where you are. How many of you can honestly say in your profession that you are number one in your profession? You like number one, number two, whatever it is. Like you at the top. Like when they think about you, that when they think about your industry, let me say it like that. It's probably gonna help you out. Because you're like, yep, in my eyes, I'm absolutely number one. I want to help you out. For real, like, you're like, my mom said I'm the best. Like, I'm not talking about your mom right now.
Oh, I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. See? It looks something like this.
So many different things from seeing what other industries are doing.
You can't just listen. You gotta be willing to look in the mirror and ask yourself, you know, am I doing enough?
It's more than real estate, it's about life. The self-development, the self-improvement, the self-awareness. I really enjoyed the session with ET. Some fantastic messages to take home, especially for me being able to relate it to the AFL environment and what we've been through as a team, and, you know, why we're here, what motivates us to keep playing, and what are we striving to succeed, and as well as surrounding yourself with good people to create a successful culture.
Oh, I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. See? It looks something like this.
One more. I saw it. Yes, sir. I doubt myself. I've been there. I doubted the 4-year degree. I doubted the master's. I doubted the PhD. And I think doubt is one of the greatest enemies because it's not real. It took me 12 years to get a 4-year degree because I doubted myself. It only took me 2 to get the master's, but the PhD really was in 4. How did I do it? I stepped out myself. I stopped feeding that. I can't do it. I just changed my language. I can't. I hold my boss. I just changed my language. My wife got sick. People see that doubt and they're like, am I going to be in a wheelchair? Her best friend has MS. She's been in a wheelchair for years, not mobile. And I can see that look on my wife's face. And I said, no, don't you go there. No, don't you doubt yourself. You can, you will, you must get through this. And my wife has not listened to the university. My wife has not had any serious issues because I told her, you can't doubt yourself. How many people in this room, we're right here, you're feeling this young man, you have not truly activated because you doubted yourself as an area. Hands down, doubt. The only thing you can do, see, let's go through these, let's get past these. The only thing you can do, listen to me very closely, the only thing you can do is take the risk, guys. I took the risk. You gotta take the risk. So, yeah, no, I'm not the best writer. No, I haven't always traditionally loved school. No, I'm not. My family doesn't necessarily go to college, right? We don't do the college thing. But I had to take the risk, and I can just honestly say, as I stand here in Australia, I'm glad I took the risk. And we're not talking about speaking in Australia, guys. First time I came to Australia, I'm like, wow, they had guns? Like, there's no thing. Just walk around without guns. This is crazy. I like this. I don't carry a gun back at home like 10 out of 10. Everybody's got a gun. I'm like, I feel real safe. Because I go to the store without, really worried about worst things. Somebody will wrestle me down. I can get back up after that and just go back to the hotel. Unbelievable. This is crazy. come on guys, I'll be honest. I came here and I just like, man, I just felt so at home. The first tour, came back the second one, out here the third time. Just break out the whole like, you gotta come. Like I'm doing 7 cities, so it's gonna be a 6 cities, it's gonna be too much. But next time I come, we'll come for like a month and you get an opportunity to see Melbourne, Brisbane, you get a chance to go to Perth. Like this is a whole other world. So we're not even talking about speaking, we're talking about I've been opening up to a whole other world. I'll be honest with you guys, I was a little hurt because when I went back home after the first one, I started eating at the Outback back at home because I was thinking like this would be my Australian experience, right? And when I came back and said, Glenn, can we get the awesome life? He said, we don't have the awesome life. You don't have it. It's gotta be this. Our Outback at home. I was like, no, we don't eat that right there. It's not Australian food here. It's a great experience, guys. What if I hadn't taken the risk? What if I hadn't taken the risk? So I need you to do a huge favor. A couple more militia guys out here. This is the only way you can get over doubt is to take the risk. And I just need those of you in this room who are courageous enough to go with me and say, I'm no longer going to allow doubt to stifle me. I'm no longer going to allow doubt to stop me. I'm going to take the risk. And again, I prefer to die trying. I just want you to raise your hand. I'm going to take the risk. I took the risk, guys. I'm not Dr. Harry Thomas. I took the risk. The risk of what? Turning it on paper and being embarrassed. Letting the teacher see this great motivational speaker who doesn't write as well as I speak. Like be vulnerable. I took the risk. I doubted if I could actually write the paper the way they wanted me to write the paper. But I wrote it anyway and turned it in. We had to make some adjustments. But I got past the doubt today of Dr. Thomas. I doubted just like you doubted. It's so funny. I would get emails and I would think every time I get an email, they're about to tell me that I didn't pass. That's why I kept fighting through that. I kept fighting through it. Even the last day, my trials on graduate, I got a phone call and it said that you're gonna have to retake the test until 2 years ago, which takes 8 hours. I called the school like, man, I just got this email. And so I apologize, it was an error. I was. What a sick joke. Right? But up to the day before, I doubted if it was gonna happen. And it wasn't until they said, Dr. Harry Thomas, I walked across the stage and I got to the phone. It wasn't until then I was like, I went home and I opened it up and it had my name on it. Like, is that real? Then about 4 weeks later, I got the official. So I need you to get past that doubt. And I need you to believe in me. As once you believe in you, there's absolutely nothing in Australia or in the world that will stop you from making your dreams come out. You said everybody wants to be a millionaire. Everybody wants to live in a certain neighborhood. Everybody wants to be the top of the top. Everybody wants to be phenomenal until it's time to do what phenomenal does. Everybody. I told you that's why I'm not afraid. I'm not scared that some kid's gonna take my spot. If he does, he's gonna have to do it with sweat. He's gonna have to do it with tears. He's gonna have to do it with blood. He is going to have to get up at 2:30 in the morning. If he can get up every day at 2:30, he deserves to take my spot. Some people are taking your spot and they shouldn't take it, but because you're average, it's easy to take your spot. It's easy. It's easy to get to the place before you get there. It's easy to take that client before you get to him. It's easy. It's easy to beat you. Why? You average. It's easy to beat you. You're excited. You come to the conference. You listen to the stuff. You're excited. But let me tell you something. Everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. What I need you to do is I need you to just, when you get back, okay, I'm sorry. Glenn's going to take care of you. Aaron's going to take care of you. Chris going to take care of you. Tom's going to take care of you. All these great speakers. Jet's going to take care of you. Look, this thing is deep. They're going to give you a list of every single thing a beast needs to do. There's only one thing they cannot do. They cannot turn your beast mode on. I'm gonna say it one more time. They're gonna give you all the beast instructions. You're gonna be like, what? Wow, it's only 20 things to do to be a beast. But when you take all that information home, there's one thing that they cannot do for you, and that's called turn the beast mode on. If you can take all this information and turn...
When I got into comedy at 27, I had a turn back moment, man. It was the day I was gonna quit. Cause I had enough, man. I was living in this car for 3 years, man. I ain't got no money. And I was gonna call my mom and dad and ask them, could I come home and just stay in the attic for about 4 months till I find a job. My father told me, you can't come back home. Once you leave my daddy's house, you got to figure it out. So I knew it was gonna be hard, but they had put an answer machine in the attic for me. And so I was bathing in a hotel in Pensacola, Florida. And the way I used to bathe was, I used to go to hotels that had those bathroom doors that went floor to ceiling. I would go to real fancy, like Ritz-Carltons and stuff like that, because they had linen towels wrapped up in a basket. And I would take a bunch of them in there, run hot water on them, and I'd take them in the stall and shut the door, and I'd take my bag and I'd soap up. Then I would wait till the coast was clear, and I'd run out and get a bunch of more rags and soak them up and come out and wipe it off. Then I stand there and dry, put my clothes back on. That's how I bathe every other day, man. And so I was in that one time, and they had a convention in town. And when I got all the stuff, I soaked up. This convention let out, and men was just coming in the bathroom, and I couldn't go out, so I couldn't get the soap off. So I let the toilet seat down, and I'm sitting there, man. I just started crying. I said, no, I can't take this anymore. I'm finna quit. I'm gonna go call my daddy, just ask him, can I come home, man? I can't do this no more. So before I called him, I called the answer machine, and I got a message. And it said, Steve Harvey, this is Chuck Sutton from Showtime at the Apollo. We saw a tape of you. If you would come to New York Sunday night, this was a Thursday, come to Sunday night, we're gonna put you on TV, Showtime at the Apollo. Put me on TV, that was my dream. But I had a problem. I had $25, and I couldn't get to New York. How was I gonna get to New York with $25? So I said, man, I went back in my car and I'm crying again. I said, man, God, I finally get a shot to get on TV and then I can't even go. I said, how could you do this to me? And I'm 30-something now, man. I've been waiting my whole life. And I said, you get me here? So I said, let me call this machine back, just see if he said this Sunday. And I called it back, and it said, Steve, this is Chuck Sutton from Showtime at the Apollo. We saw it. We have an opening for you Sunday. If you can get here, give me a call, let me know. We'd love to put you on TV. So I got ready to hang up, and I heard, boop, you have another message. And I punched in the code, and the message said, Steve Harvey, this is Tom Sober from the Comedy Caravan. I don't know where you are now, but I have a gig available for you in Jacksonville, Florida, to pay you $150 Friday night. If you can make the gig, let me know. I'm in Pensacola. So I called Tom Sober. He sends me to this gig to make $150. I go the next night, I make the $150, but I was so funny, the club owner said, if you stay the next night, I'll pay you another $150. I got $300. I called Chuck Sutton back at the Apollo and said, hey man, I just got this message. If you still got room for me in New York, I'll do it. He said, yeah, come on. So I went to Eastern Airlines, bought a round trip ticket for $99 from Jacksonville, Florida to New York, performed on Showtime at the Apollo, wrote the joke that made me famous. Mike Tyson hit this fighter, Mitch Green, in the eye, and his eye started talking.
By the time you see this, I'll be dead. I'll make this as simple as I can. What's wrong with death, sir? What are we so mortally afraid of? Why can't we treat death with a certain amount of humanity and dignity and decency and, God forbid, maybe even humor? Death is not the enemy, gentlemen. If we're gonna fight a disease, let's fight one of the most terrible diseases of all, indifference. We're all dying, Truman. Our job is to increase health. You know what that means? That means improving the quality of life, not just delaying death. Now, you asked me if I've been practicing medicine. Well, if this means opening your door to those in need, those in pain, caring for them, listening to them, applying a cold cloth until a fever breaks, if this is practicing medicine, if this is treating a patient, then I am guilty as charged, sir. Transference is inevitable, sir. Every human being has an impact on another. That's why you treat a disease, you win, you lose. You treat a person, I guarantee you'll win, no matter what the outcome.
Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. The Latin term for that sentiment is carpe diem. Who knows what that means? Seize the day. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Why does the writer use these lines? Because we are food for worms, lads. Because believe it or not, each and every one of us in this room is one day going to stop breathing, turn cold, and die. The world is their oyster. They believe they're destined for great things. Just like many of you, their eyes are full of hope. Just like you. Did they wait till it was too late to make from their lives even one iota of what they were capable of? And I know you hate your job and you don't have many friends. And I know sometimes you feel a little uncoordinated and you don't feel as wonderful as everybody else. And feeling as alone and separate as you feel you are. And I think you're the greater thing since strikes back. The universe at its essence, every element has its place. You can't change that. It's secure, no matter what.
You see what I mean? You got to be crazy. It's too late to be saved. Too late. You got to go full tilt, Bozo. Because you're only given a little spark of madness. If you lose that, nothing.
How kind is it to give life, only to take it away again?
What's true in our minds is true. Because some people know they're not.
Just keep going. Find that thing you love, because it's tough work. But I think if you can find that thing that really gives you joy, that'll be it.
Did you come close to losing it? Oh yeah. Pushed it right to the edge. Why had to come out now? So yeah, giving up. Just not the way you think. Sometimes when you win, you lose.
Class, you will learn to think for yourselves again. You will learn to savor words and language. No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world. We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. Quote from Whitman, "O me, O life of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, what good amid these, O me, O life?" Answer, that you are here. Life exists in identity. The powerful play goes on in your dreams. Your first meeting. You must strive to find your own voice. Because the longer you wait to begin, the less likely you are to find it at all. Thoreau said most men lead lives of quiet desperation. Don't be resigned to that.
It's like, I will walk differently. Ask yourselves why you are clapping. We all have a great need for acceptance, but you must trust that your beliefs are unique, your own, even though others may think them odd or unpopular, even though the herd may go, that's bad. Robert Frost said, 2 roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. If I asked you about art, you'd probably give me the skinny on every art book ever written. Michelangelo. I know a lot about him. Life's work, political aspirations, him and the Pope, sexual orientation, the whole works, right? But you can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. I've never actually stood there and looked up at that beautiful ceiling. Seen that. If I ask you about women, you'd probably give me a syllabus of your personal favorites. You may have even been laid a few times. But you can't tell me what it feels like to wake up next to a woman and feel truly happy. When I ask you about war, you'd probably throw Shakespeare at me, right? Once more into the breach, dear friends. But you've never been near one. Never held your best friend's head in your lap, watching him gasp his last breath, looking to you for help. I ask you about love, probably quote me a sonnet. But you've never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. Known someone that could level you with her eyes. Feeling like God put an angel on earth just for you. Rescue you from the depths of hell, and you wouldn't know what it's like to be her angel. To have that love for her, be there forever, through anything, through cancer. And you wouldn't know about sitting up in a hospital room for 2 months, holding her hand, because the doctors could see in your eyes that the terms visiting hours don't apply to you. You don't know about real loss. Because it only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself. I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody that much.
I feel like I'm the most fierce competitor there is. I don't think I'm ever going to find something equal the game of basketball for me.
They talk about guys being competitors. He was the fiercest of all the competitors.
I know Jesus worked 7 days a week. On 6 days, he rested on Sunday, didn't he? So Michael Jordan played on Sunday.
An assassin personified that had that killer instinct.
I'm not sure people really know how good this guy is.
Michael Jordan at his best, there's very few people on this planet that can do this.
For me, Michael Jordan was a killer. It didn't matter. He wanted to come in and kill you. What motivates me is the unknown. No one knows. You know, they can all speculate, but no one really knows. And myself, I didn't know. You know, but that I didn't let that stop me. You know, and I let that motivate me more so than anything. That you know, as long as it's unknown, that means I have a chance. You know, and that's the way I can start pursuing my whole career.
No matter what the game is, or who you're playing against, you have to win the ball. The clock. The pressure. Block all that out. All you think about is what you have to do to win. That's why I love the end of the game. Because it comes down to that one moment when it's all in my hand.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Flight 23.
I don't always have to hit the last shot, but I do have to walk away knowing I did everything I could to win the game. you step on the floor, it doesn't matter how many times you've done it before. All that matters is that you do it now. Those are the moments you put in the hours of practice for. Those are the ones you never forget.
I never feared about my skill, because I put in the work. The work ethic eliminates fear. So if you put forth the work, then what are you fearing? You know what you're capable of doing, what you're not.
I've never been afraid. Obviously you're nervous, but afraid means you're not confident in your skills. I have total confidence in my skills, so I'm not afraid. True to the game, because the game will be true to you. If you try to shortcut the game, then the game's going to shortcut you. If you put forth the effort, good things will be bestowed upon you. That's truly about the game, and in some ways that's about life too.
Warframe is a free-to-play third-person shooter with a vast array of weapons, abilities, companions, locations, and much, much more. The game world has an amazing cinematic storyline that you can explore through questing, either alone, with friends, or through public matchmaking. Each Warframe has a variety of abilities you can level up and can be equipped from a mind-boggling number of weapons and companions. As you get deeper into the game, the amount of playstyles you can use is limited only by your imagination. And it doesn't end there. Once you've made the ultimate killing machine, you can fine-tune how you want to look. And that includes coloring, changing the model, animations, and much more. The sheer amount of things you can do in this game is staggering. From questing to mining, exploring open world planets, breeding pets to fight by your side, hoverboarding on Venus, or even taking to space in your own ship, piloting and fighting, and firing yourself out of an artillery cannon into the enemy ship to hijack it.
Under our command.
There's something for everybody in this game. My favorite part about Warframe is the mobility. The ability to slide and glide around the map effortlessly like a deadly ninja laying waste to your opponents is the greatest feeling. Warframe is easy to pick up, but there is plenty in the game to master. You begin by starting off with some tutorials and quest lines that start off on a planet in a star system that looks familiar. To begin with, each planet has many regions, space stations and ships to fight on, and there are multiple factions and bosses to fight. Each one offering a unique challenge for you to design your Warframe to overcome. By the way, did I mention this is free to play? On all platforms. So head over to warframe.com and join the 50 million registered players today. What kind of space ninja do you want to be?
Sell online and grow your business with Wix e-commerce. Create a beautiful storefront for your brand by customizing product pages, galleries, cart, and checkout. Then let shoppers pay however they like. Reach new shoppers on social media and marketplaces and engage existing customers with subscriptions, gift cards, and loyalty programs. Set up automated abandoned cart recovery to entice customers to complete their purchase. Fulfill orders and manage inventory from a single dashboard for all sales channels. Make insightful business decisions based on detailed traffic, sales, and revenue reports. Run high-performing marketing campaigns with built-in Facebook and Instagram ads that reach the right shoppers. Go to Wix e-commerce and create your online store today.
saw Tiger when he was 6 months old. That he had it. The X factor, the competitive abilities, the ability to focus, concentrate, strive for excellence, all these things.
There it is, a win for the ages.
Expect anything different?
I was living a life of a lie. I really was. You start coming to the truth of who you really are. And that can be very ugly.
Tiger Woods addressing his DUI arrest, the latest entanglement in his remarkable fall from grace.
Tiger Woods grimacing in pain, limping.
Golf caused me a lot of pain. I tried to swing a club, I'd be in up on the ground.
He's hurt. There is something wrong. Something is wrong with Tiger Woods.
I had serious doubts after what transpired a couple years ago. I could barely walk. I couldn't sit. Couldn't lay down. I really couldn't do much of anything.
Time isn't the issue here. His body is.
I was going through a tough time physically, and there was a lot of times when I really couldn't move, and so that in itself was difficult.
In recent years, Woods has struggled with back pain, undergoing 4 surgeries, including one last month.
And all eyes will be on the return of Tiger Woods.
One of, if not the greatest comeback in modern sports history.
I don't believe in him anymore. I stopped believing in him years ago.
My expectations are so high, no matter what anybody else expects, it's going to be lesser than what I expected myself.
This was the first major he's won in 11 years.
Okay.
11 years, and he didn't stop working. He just went to work and went to work. Many doubted we'd ever see it. But here it is. The return to glory.
Just keep fighting. That's just part of the deal. We wake up every morning and there's always challenges in front of us, and you keep fighting and keep getting good. You never give up. That's the given. You always fight, and that just giving up's never an equation.
Cassius Clay is a name no more, is that right?
Yes, sir. It's Muhammad Ali. Muhammad means worthy of all praises, and Ali means most high in the Asian African language.
He's a poet, a prophet, and many people believe he'll be the next heavyweight champion of the world.
Play it lightning fast.
He was a tremendous bolt of lightning.
See, Ali, this is the only thing about Ali. When you were watching Ali get beaten up as an old man, even as a young kid, he's not going to quit. You got to kill him. He won't quit. Ali's a giant. Ali's a savage. He's an animal. He's a different breed of person. He's not like us.
Why don't you call me my name, man?
Well, what's your name? You told me your name was Cassius Clay a few years ago.
I never told you my name was Cassius Clay. My name is Muhammad Ali, and you will announce it right there in the center of that ring after the fight if you don't do it now.
He was leading back.
Joe's gonna come out smoking, and I ain't gonna be joking. I'll be pecking and a poking, pouring water on this smoking. Then this might shock and amaze you, but I will destroy Joe Frazier.
Frazier looks awful tired.
One of the most dominant athletes in the history of sports.
I've done something new for this fight. I have wrestled with an alligator. That's right. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done talked Hustle with a whale. Out of handcuffed lightning, stole thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I ain't got some sick. Fast. Last night I cut the light off in the bedroom, hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was dark. Fast. You, George Foreman, all you chumps are gonna bow when I'm with us. All of you. I know you got him picked. But the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
I think a lot of people they see you run and they say, oh, it looks so easy, you really look effortless. But before it gets to that point, it's hard.
200-meter world record holder.
Then he is the
I was a kid with a dream, and I was a little kid that wasn't afraid to dream as big as I could. I said to myself, I'm going to do this and no one's going to stop me. Whatever you want to do in life is possible. Those goals that I thought about every single day kept me coming week after week and year after year until I was able to accomplish them. I think there were so many people who doubted things that I wanted, and I believed that I could achieve. I believed that I could go into 2008 and be perfect. I believed that.
Making it look easy. He's going to tie the greatest Olympic champions of all time and do it in world record fashion.
Never give up. And I never have, and nobody ever should. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. There are always going to be ups and downs, but I think it's really how you get back on your horse and keep going forward. People don't make excuses. Some of the best athletes, the greatest athletes in the world, do things when they're uncomfortable. Everybody can compete when they're feeling good, happy, excited, rested. But it's the best people who can overcome when they're tired, sore, not in a great mind, not in the best mindset. But I think mental power that the greatest athletes have can push all the pain aside. There were times where I've been put in uncomfortable situations, but I've used my mental power, my mental strength to push through it. For me to become the person who I am today,
As I mentioned before, some of the most devastating things that happen to you will teach you the most. The way I ended up on this path was from a very tragic event. When I finished school, I was completely lost. I had no ambition. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I did everything from I shucked oysters, I was a hostess, I was a bartender, I was a waitress, I painted houses, I sold vacuum cleaners. I had no idea. My girlfriend had been killed in a car accident, and we were living together at the time. My brother's band was performing, and we had broken up. We fought a lot. She was trying to get me to come back home. I acted like I couldn't hear her because the music was too loud. I was planning on moving back in. I just was trying to teach her a lesson, and I was staying with some friends. So I just acted like I couldn't hear her. I was being really dismissive of her. She had left before us, and as we were driving home, we saw a car, and it was split in two, and we heard sirens behind us, so it had just happened. Nobody was there yet. And we just kept going. And I found out shortly after that it was her. And I was living in a basement apartment. I had no money. I had no heat, no air. I had a mattress on the floor, and the apartment was infested with fleas. And I was soul searching. I was like, why is she suddenly gone and there are fleas here? I started this path of stand-up, and it was successful and it was great, but it was hard because I was trying to please everybody, and I had the secret that I was keeping, that I was gay, and I thought if people found out, they wouldn't like me, they wouldn't laugh at me. So
at the time you told your dad, he was with, his new wife, right? And your stepmother. And what happened?
Well, actually, he told me that he figured it out. I was upset about something, and he kept saying, "Did you rob a bank? Did you kill somebody?" And I kept saying, "No, I just don't want to tell you." And finally, I told him, and he told me. And then they asked me to move out of the house. And so because she had 2 little girls that they worried that it would influence them. And everything was fine. It was just they didn't want me living in the house with the 2 little girls, which really hurt because I loved them,
I finally decided that I was living with so much shame and so much fear that I just couldn't live that way anymore. And I decided to come out and make it creative, and my character would come out at the same time. And it wasn't to make a political statement. It wasn't to do anything other than to free myself up from this heaviness that I was carrying around. And I just wanted to be honest. And I thought, what's the worst that can happen? I can lose my career. I did. I lost my career. I got the show was canceled after 6 years without even telling me. I read it in the paper. The phone didn't ring for 3 years. I had no offers. Nobody wanted to touch me at all. And yet I was getting...
If you're an accredited investor, I have big news. In the last 12 months, I bought 5 major American brands. I bought Pure Imports, Linens and Things, Dress Barn, Franklin Mint, Models. I'm sure you've heard of one or all of those brands. But more importantly than how this has benefited me, I want to share with you how this might change how you invest your money.
Every so often, an opportunity arises that is so big you have to double check just to make sure it's real. And if you're an investor, you've probably been doing your research right now, trying to predict what the next big thing is before the masses catch on. Because one thing history teaches us is that those who catch a new trend early are rewarded handsomely. Henry Ford, when he produced his first Model T car, must have thought, wow, why isn't everyone seeing what I see? Steve Jobs, when he created the first personal computer, couldn't believe his college professors doubted him. Elon Musk had that amazing foresight to understand how valuable Tesla would become. So there's good and bad news. The bad news is most investors will never catch one of these aha moments. They're too distracted following the crowd. But the good news is that a global shift of epic proportions has just happened. And what we predict to be 54 new investment opportunities have opened up right in front of our eyes. As the saying goes, there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. Those weeks of change just happen. If you're an accredited investor, it's time to take action. My name is Ty Lopez, and my business partner, Dr. Alex Marin, and I believe that the low-hanging fruit to be invested in is very simple. Buying distressed brands. Specifically retail brick-and-mortar stores. And we mean buying them for pennies on the dollar and revitalizing and transforming them into e-commerce brands. In fact, we predict there will be 54 bankrupt brands to buy in the next 8 months alone. There's a very narrow window to catch this opportunity, so don't be slow. Remember what they say in Vegas, scared money doesn't make money. Alex and I saw this opportunity a while back and have already begun. Maybe you read the USA Today article about us in October 2019 when we purchased Dress Barn for pennies on the dollar, a large female clothing brand that did over $740 million in revenue. We bought it from a publicly traded company and revitalized it by turning it into an e-commerce online brand that makes its sales from websites, not from brick and mortar stores. And remember, the brick and mortar business model was already dying before now. Now the nail has been hammered on the costs.
So you went on this. Mama.
Okay.
Thank you. So my favorite animal in the entire world is the sloth. It is my dream to meet one.
What?
It's my dream to meet a sloth one day.
What, has he got a book signing somewhere?
They're exotic, they're cool, they're different. I don't know.
Like they're in Africa or something?
They're in like the Costa Rica kind of area.
Tell you how much I know about them. What, they in Africa? No, Costa Rica. My next question is, where's that? I'm so uneducated. I might visit one too. That little ugly.
Isn't he cute?
He's cute.
I think so.
Wait, ain't that the real slow animal?
Yep.
Okay, so what's...
Well, my birthday's coming up, and I would love to have a real-life sloth be at my birthday party. But the issue is that my boyfriend is the one who's planning the party, and like you, he seems to be just terrified of sloths. So I was wondering how I could get him over that fear in order to get what I want for my birthday.
I can tell you right now, your birthday party is gonna be minus a sloth. I gotta tell you that. Let me tell you something. A man ain't gonna pay no money for something he's scared of. A man not gonna do that. Look, I love Marjorie, but if she wanted a sloth, we ain't getting one.
Well, if he loves me, he should learn to love things that I love.
Where y'all get these rules at? Who told y'all this about men? Y'all don't know this yet about us? If it ain't in our DNA, it's not in our DNA. We ain't got to love that because you love it. I dated a girl one time that had a chihuahua. And I'm all right with dogs.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
No, fine.
Steve, I have a problem, though. I have anger issues. And I go from 0 to 100 real quick. I can't stand when I'm talking to someone, they're looking at their phone, I just want to go across and just snatch them up. All of my friends are like, oh girls, you're Puerto Rican idol. So I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? I don't understand that. What does that even mean? I don't get it. So, you don't understand. You do not understand. So, I just need help. I need your help. I need your help because I'm afraid that I'm gonna hurt someone. I'm gonna lose a friendship. I'm gonna go to jail. Steve?
No, I'm scared of you right now.
Why are you scared of me though? I have anger issues, Steve. I need your help.
You shouldn't even have this problem. What's wrong? What's wrong? You beautiful girl.
I have daddy issues. I don't know.
You're young.
I don't know.
You're very young. How old are you?
I'm 29.
Yeah, you're young. Why you doing? You married?
No.
Well,
that's the problem.
No. That's not the problem. You could be married by now.
I should be married by now, but my crazy ass boyfriend won't marry me. He's on
crazy ass boy.
Yes.
Won't marry your crazy ass.
Exactly. Two crazies go together.
Cause your boyfriend might be crazy, but he ain't stupid though. See, let me tell you something. Sweetheart, if you backed it down just 6 notches,
okay.
Skip Woosah, all of that.
Okay.
You just a lie. Okay, answer me this question right here. Have you ever been in love?
Yes.
Are you?
I've been married for 22 years. This is my husband. Wonderful man, love him, but we've had the same.
Listen, I came here because I've been outnumbered for 24 years. First of all, let me correct her. We've been together 24 years. We've never ever had a fight. Now, we've had intense fellowship.
Yeah.
but never a fight. Listen, we don't do nothing without Puerto Ricans. On our honeymoon, Uncle Steve, a honeymoon. She bought her grandmama.
Hold on. There's more to this.
Ain't money to do what you needed to do.
Listen.
That's great.
Listen. Steve, what happened to happy wife, happy life? He keeps me happy, which he does.
I used to spend the night in hotel parking lots. What was I gonna do? I ain't had nowhere to stay, so I lived in the car. I had $35. And I said, come on, God, man, I've been trying to make this dream come true. You done left me out here like this. And I was crying so hard that he just said, I didn't hear a voice or nothing, but he spoke to me, and however he said, if you get up, I'm gonna take you places you ain't never been. Now I was finna quit. So I said, skip it. I'm gonna quit anyway. So I got in my car, I went to a payphone, and I was gonna call my dad. You remember back in the day where you could punch in a code and call your answering machine and get your messages? So I called and I punched in the code, and he said, doop. He said, hey Steve, this is Chuck Sutton with Showtime at the Apollo. We saw a tape of you. You're very funny. If you could get here Sunday night, we'd love to put you on television. Call me back. Let me know if you can make it. So I hung the phone up. I'm crushed. Because my whole dream of being on TV, and I couldn't get to New York. I got $35. How I'm going to get to New York? I can't make it. So I'm standing there at the phone booth, and tears just coming down my face. I said, God, so that must be a sign for me to go home. Cause this it, I ain't even got the money to go to the Apollo. My whole thing, I wanted to be on TV, I couldn't even make the dream come true. This is the most messed up moment. And so I said, man, let me call this dude back and see if he said this Sunday. Because maybe he said next Sunday, and I can hustle up a little bit of money or something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but let me just call him back. So I called him back. Steve, this is Chuck Sutton, Showtime at the Apollo. We saw a tape of yours. You're very, very funny. Look, we have an opening Sunday night at Showtime at the Apollo. If you can make it, we'd love to put you on TV. I said, it's this Sunday. Before I hit the button, I heard, doop, you have another message. Now, it wasn't there before. So I punched my code in. I listened to the second message. It said, Steve Harvey, this is Tom Sloan from the Comedy Caravan. This was a Thursday. He said, I have a gig in Jacksonville, Florida on Friday night that pays $150. If you can get there Friday night, you'll make $150. So I called him back and I said, hey, Tom, did you get a gig away? He said, no, it's still available. He said, can you get there? I said, I'm in Pensacola, Florida. I'm 3.5 hours away. So I drive to Jacksonville, Florida, and that night I made the 150. Club owner said, man, you funnier than the guy we hired. If you stay tomorrow night, I'm gonna give you another $150. So now I got $300 now. So I get on the phone, I call Chuck Sutton. I say, hey man, is the gig still available at Showtime at the Apollo? He said, yeah, we got one opening left. I said, I'll be there. So I called Eastern Airlines, who used to be open back then. They had a special for $99 going from Jacksonville, Florida to New York round trip. So I parked my car at the airport. I got on plane, flew. Everything I had was in 2 bags. Got to the Apollo. I said, hey man, I'm here. I got there at 11 o'clock in the morning. He said, you can't stay here because you don't come on to the late show tonight. I said, I ain't got nowhere to go. I said, if you just let me stay in this building, man, I ain't gonna move around nothing. I ain't got nowhere to go.
I'm in Harlem. I can't go back out here. I got these 2 bags. I got victim wrote all over me, man. So he said, all right, if you go upstairs, don't come down. So he put me in the dressing room on the 6th floor. So that's where all the comedians were. So I stayed up there. I got hungry around 3 o'clock, man. I couldn't take it no more. So I went back downstairs. A dude named Alton Liston. I said, hey, man. He said, man, I thought I told you, don't come down them damn steps. I said, hey, man, I'm just hungry, man. I said, let me go to that KFC I saw on the corner. Let me get some chicken. I'll come right back. He said, man, if you ain't back in 20 minutes, you ain't getting in this building. So I went, bought me some chicken, came back. So the comedians started coming in the building. They started coming up on the 6th floor. So I meet this guy named D.L. Hughley. I introduced myself. He introduced himself. I'm sitting there. Another guy come in named Dwayne Johnson. Then this other dude walked in named Jamie Foxx. And I introduced myself. We don't know each other. Ain't none of us famous. It's 1991, man. They gave everybody the lineup. I was on the last show of the night. I don't go on to 11 at night. I done had this 4 pieces of chicken. I'm starving, man. That chicken done wore off. I'm nervous, man. I'm about to throw up. D.L. Hughley went downstairs. D.L. Hughley got booed off. Dwayne Johnson got booed off. Jamie Foxx went down there and got booed. They booed Jamie, then Jamie started singing. And then they started clapping. And Jamie had their ass. Then he went back to them jokes and they got his ass. So I'm walking down the steps and I see Jamie sitting on the steps. I said, hey man, hang in there. He said, man, that ain't never happened to me before, man. This crazy. This Jamie Foxx, man, one of the most talented people in all of comedy. Now, you don't even know how nervous I am, man. I can't even. My breathing is shot because these dudes been booed. So I walk out. I wrote this joke. Mike Tyson had got in a fight in Harlem with this heavyweight named Mitch Green. Mike Tyson had hit the dude in the eye in the store. Now he was on the news, his eye was swollen. So the joke I wrote was, they was interviewing Mitch Green and he was telling everybody what happened, but his eye took over the interview. And I wrote this joke that his eye started talking and was just, I'll tell you what happened. The heavyweight champ's fist is coming towards my face. I just said, Lord, Lord, Lord. And I wrote this whole joke about this dude's eyeball talking. And when the punch came, and all this here, the Apollo, man, they went crazy. They lost their mind. I got a standing ovation, man. I walked off stage, man, just started crying. I couldn't believe it. And they paid me. I made $750 for being on TV for one night. I'd never made $750 telling jokes in one night. And so that was my first television appearance. A couple weeks later, Sinbad was the host of the show. He got this job on Different World. And so he quit. And so Mark Curry became the host. And then Mark Curry got hanging with Mr. Cooper, and he quit.
Man, I counted at least 15 black people on that montage. Hey! Well, I'm here at the Academy Awards, otherwise known as the White People's Choice Awards. You realize if they nominated hosts, I wouldn't even get this job. So y'all be watching Neil Patrick Harris right now. But here's the crazy thing. This is the wildest, craziest Oscars to ever host because we got all this controversy. There's no black nominees, you know? And people are like, Chris, you should boycott. Chris, you should quit. You should quit. You know, how come it's only unemployed people that tell you to quit something, huh? No one with a job ever tells you to quit. So I thought about quitting. I thought about it real hard. But I realized have the Oscars anyway. They're not gonna cancel the Oscars because I quit. You know? And the last thing I need is to lose another job to Kevin Hart, okay? I don't need that. Kev right there. Kev make movies fast. Every month. Porno stars don't make movies that fast. Now, the thing is, why are we protesting? That's the big question. Why this Oscars? Why this Oscars? You know, it's the 88th Academy Awards. It's the 88th Academy Awards, which means this whole no black nominees thing has happened at least 71 other times. Okay? You gotta figure that it happened in the 50s, in the 60s. You know, in the 60s, one of those years, Sydney didn't put out a movie. I'm sure there were no black nominees some of those years, say 62 and 63, and black people did not protest. Why? Because we had real things to protest at the time. You know? We had real things to protest. You know, we're too busy being raped and lynched to care about who won Best Cinematographer. You know, when your grandmother's swinging from a tree, it's really hard to care about Best Documentary Foreign Short. But what happened this year? What happened? People went mad. You know, Spike got mad, and Shelby got mad, and Jada went mad, and Will went mad. Everybody went mad. You know, it's quite like Jada got mad. Jada said she's not coming. Protesting. I'm like, it's on a TV show. Jada's gonna boycott the Oscars. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. Oh, it's not an invitation I would turn down. But I understand, I'm not hating. I understand you're mad. Jada's mad, her man, Will, was not nominated for Concussion. I get it. Tell the truth, I get it. You get mad, so that it's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated. Yeah, you're right. It's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, okay? Things, this year the Oscars, things are gonna be a little different. Things are gonna be a little different at the Oscars. This year, in the in memoriam package, it's just gonna be black people that were shot by the cops on their way to the movies. Yes, I said it, all right? Hey, if you want black nominees every year, you need to just have black categories. That's what you need. You need to have black categories. You already do it with men and women. Think about it. There's no real reason for there to be a man and a woman category in acting. It's not, come on. There's no reason. It's not track and field. You don't have to separate them. You know, Robert De Niro's never said, I better slow this acting down so Meryl Streep could catch up. No, not at all, man. If you want black people every year at the Oscars, just have black categories like Best Black Friend. That's right. And the winner for the 18th year in a row is Wanda Sykes. This is Wanda's 18th Black Oscar.
Embody the characters you chose to portray on screen and stage has created a phenomenal global sensation in the world of film and entertainment unlike any in recent history. Beginning with your work in the film 42 in 2013 as the legendary Jackie Robinson, who broke the color line in Major League Baseball by signing with the Brooklyn Dodgers at a time in America when blatant racism was rampant. And I told Chadwick last night that Jackie Robinson and Martin Luther King Jr. received honorary degrees on the same day right here at Howard University as well. To your and so it is for this reason I'm pleased to introduce the commencement of Dr. Chadwick Boseman. First, giving honor to the Creator and my ancestors on whose shoulders I stand. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. She is not here in attendance, but by tomorrow, she will have seen this. Let me also acknowledge my professors who have passed on to the other side. Because of work obligations over the past few years, I miss memorials that were held here for them. Professor Al Freeman Jr., Professor Mike Malone, Professor Reggie Ray, Dr. Henrietta Edmonds, Professor Joe Selman, Dr. Johnson, and Dr. Singleton. Professors and instructors that may be present: George Epstein, Tony Starnes, Denise Saunders, Professor Roberts Will, Wayne Frederick, and the Board of Trustees. Thank you for bringing me back here and giving me this distinguished award. It's overwhelming to be recognized amongst this year's other honorees. I can think of no better place to be right now after the Black Panther and Avengers campaigns than to return and participate in these graduation ceremonies with you. It is a great privilege, graduates, to address you on your day, a day marking one of the most important accomplishments of your life to date. This is a magical place, a place where the dynamics of positive and negative seem to exist in extremes. I remember walking across this yard on what seemed to be a random day, my head down, lost in my own world of issues, like many of you do daily. I'm almost at the center of the yard. I raised my head and Muhammad Ali was walking towards me. Time seemed to slow down as his eyes locked on mine and opened wide. He's raised his fist into a quintessential guard. I was game to play alone with him, to act as if I was a worthy opponent. What an honor to be challenged by the GOAT, the greatest of all time, for a brief moment. His face was as serious as if I were Frazier in the Thriller in Manila. His movements or flashes of a past greater than I can imagine. His security let the joke play along for a second before they ushered him away. And I walked away floating like a butterfly.
In 1996, our next speaker faced an 18-year-old Kobe Bryant on the court for the first time. Midway through the game, while playing, Kobe asked him for tips on his jump shot. Kobe scored 33 points that game against his boyhood idol. Michael scored 36 and won the game too. Please welcome Michael Jordan.
I would say good morning, but it's afternoon. I'm grateful to Vanessa and the Bryant family for the opportunity to speak today. I'm grateful to be here to honor Gigi and celebrate the gift that Kobe gave us all. What he accomplished as a basketball player, as a businessman and a storyteller, and as a father. In the game of basketball, in life, as a parent, Kobe left nothing in the tank. He left it all on the floor.
Please welcome our guest, Kobe Bryant. USC women's basketball will be where UConn is now.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. That'll make my wife extremely happy. Both of her babies home. So.
Speaking of that last over the weekend, Arike Ogunbowale, when she hit the winning shot both in the final and the semifinal, yelled "Mamba mentality." was that easy for you to listen to?
Well, I mean, I love watching great players do phenomenal things, and it's always. It always makes me feel good that what I've done throughout my career has inspired the next generation. But my daughter just looked at me and was like, "You probably should stop." Because we were at the game. We went to the game just